Hello, my name is Bryan Avila. I am doing case study 18, Outsourcing U.S. Intelligence. Basically, in short, this article is about private contractors or businesses that are being used by U.S. intelligence to gather information for the purpose of national security. Many people believe that this is morally incorrect and unethical. As stated in the article, this tends to save more funds given to U.S. intelligences. However, the U.S. intelligence still continues to use them, which is still bringing debatable conclusions by many professors and scholars on whether or not it is actually beneficial for more than it is unethical. So the main ethical problem. The main ethical problem in this case study was using private corporations or contractors to conduct U.S. intelligence activities. Essentially, why people were not okay with this method was because the United States intelligence was basically paying other people to do their work for them. Work that could have been dangerous, and all because the United States intelligence lacked resources or information that some of these private contractors had. Another big reason this method of using outside resources was unethical was because it was very dangerous. The article talks about the United States versus Afghanistan war and mentioned that during the war, some American soldiers got ambushed. The senior intelligence official told his analysis to open their doors to anyone who has any type of information towards the United States' favor. That is when two people under the name of Easton Jordan and Robert Young came up with an idea to create AFACs. What AFACs essentially did was use employees or informants to interview local officials about any type of information. AFACs was open to just about anyone. The problem with this was that later many people like military general thought that Jordan and Young could be spies. The AFAC services they were offering seemed too close to crossing U.S. intelligence's gathering that essentially could make some people targets to the Afghanistan people, putting other people's lives at risk. My take on all of this is that the usage of private contractors or to better the national security is morally incorrect. It's not using the United States resources, and for all we know, the private contractors getting hired could be finding information unlawfully. Also, the United States is one of the most wealthy countries, so it gives them no reason to find their information on their own. And also, they have like one of the strongest militaries, so I wouldn't see why they need all the extra information to go outside their way and hire private contractors. I wouldn't see why they need extra help from outside resources when they probably have their own resources that is more than enough. Also, a big dilemma is that if other countries find out that the U.S. is doing certain stuff like this, we can lose our allies and create enemies. The private people that intelligence hire aren't probably from the United States, but they're probably from other countries, and that's why they get hired. And if another country finds out then that the U.S. is using people from their country to get information from them, it could create really big problems. My solution to all this is I feel like the United States needs to end hiring private contractors for national security. As stated before, is because it gives a lot of people risk, and our country is wealthy enough to find their information on their own. It doesn't seem ethically correct to hire other private organizations to find information on other countries. The solution I came up with was to make their own organization within the United States that lawfully finds information by themselves and not using like private contractors as they were using before. And this way the government funding that they use to hire the contractors could go into the U.S. Organization instead, and which would essentially save us a lot more money. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.